I'm Pat Torres. Welcome to The Story. Welcome to Friday. You know, lost in yesterday's protest and debate coverage here on KGW was an investigative story that is sure to raise your eyebrows and probably your blood pressure as well. A head instructor at a Portland fitness studio is under investigation after fundraising money gathered during charity classes and sent to his personal Venmo account was never received by those charities. And that is our big story tonight. Now, if you're a loyal KGW viewer and this story sounds familiar, hold on, just stick with us. There's a lot more you have yet to learn about this, and we have it for you tonight. For the rest of you, here's the deal. There's a gym in Slabtown area of Portland called Orange Theory. It's a popular place where the members get to know each other and their fitness instructors well. Once a month, Orange Theory holds a free workout class where members don't have to pay, but instead they're asked to donate to a specific charity, and it's a different one each month. But something troubling happened when investigative reporter Evan Watson started contacting some of those charities to see just how much money had been raised. They said, what money?
Well, hello, Orange Theory Slabtown. Head coach Ray coming at you live from the studio. All proceeds will go directly to Maui Relief Partnership donation-based class. 100% of the proceeds going to Make-A-Wish.
For years, Coach Ryan Tong has led charity classes at Orange Theory Slabtown, a fitness studio in Northwest Portland.
We do 90-minute donation-based classes once a month.
A different charity every month. A good sweat, a good cause.
Yeah, it means a lot to all of us that we're able to work out and also do good.
It was a source of pride for Daniel Borgen until he started asking questions.
Looking back, yeah, we all should have known better, absolutely.
Borgen is on the board of directors for the Cascade AIDS Project, a nonprofit that was the named beneficiary for multiple charity classes at the Orange Theory. He asked the nonprofit's development team to check how much money they received from Orange Theory Slabtown and Tong. They found nothing.
The facts, it was difficult to swallow.
Orange Theory Slabtown has flaunted its giving. An Instagram post from January praised head coach Ryan Tong, saying he helped raise more than $500,000 for charity. But KGW has found many of those charities never received the money Tong raised during the classes. At least 11 nonprofits told KGW they have no record of donations from either Tong or Orange Theory Slabtown, and some didn't even know classes were being held in their name.
My heart just dropped just because of what it means to local charities to have any donation or any volunteer service.
Lorraine Hunt says she donated about $700 over the last few years.
I'm frustrated probably of my own ignorance to what was happening underneath my eyes and my drinking of the Kool-Aid, if you will, and my blind trust of this person who I considered a friend and a coach.
Hunt and other Orange Theory class members say Ryan Tong, leading the classes, asked participants to send the donations to his personal Venmo. Then he was supposed to send the money to the charities. Tong's Venmo account shows a record of public transactions going back years. People sent him money, referencing the charity of that month and the donation class.
Is there part of you that says maybe we were a bit too naive to just send Venmos every month for this?
I think in the back of our heads, we all thought it was maybe a little odd that this person was using their personal Venmo account. But like I said, when it's happening out in the open, it's celebrated, it's shared on social media, it doesn't occur to you that somebody is being dishonest every single day that you see them.
Borgen, Hunt, and other class members checked in with their friends. So far, they've counted more than $10,000 in Venmo donations over the past few years.
The thing I think that got us was the matching benefit. Ryan said that he would always match things personally.
And yeah, I'm gonna match every dollar.
And then take that match and then have a Nike or Adidas or a law firm match that as well. So our donation could be 5 times what we give.
And I'm gonna see if I can find some corporate sponsors, maybe Nike, maybe Adidas.
The $5 you give could be 25, and I think that appealed to us.
Adidas and Nike both told KGW they have no association with these Orange Theory charity classes and have never matched class donations. Honors Holdings, a franchisee of Orange Theory, said it's shocked and disappointed by the allegations. Tong is suspended without pay while the company investigates, and Portland police are also looking into the case. Honors Holdings says it will focus on making the situation right for impacted members once they finish their investigation.
I think we're determined to make it right and, like I said, come out the other side and do some really good work for these charities.
A lesson in giving when good intentions aren't enough.
Just do your due diligence. My advice is to donate directly to the charity, so you'll have a receipt and they actually totally get the funds.
We listed some of the philanthropies that were named beneficiaries of these Orange Theory charity classes, but digging a little deeper, this story gets even more infuriating. I met up with Justin Ramos. His husband, Matt Rigg, was a longtime Orange Theory Slabtown member. Rigg died of cancer, lymphoma, in December of 2022. 6 months later, in June, Matt's birthday month and Pride Month, Orange Theory held a charity class in his honor. Donations were supposed to benefit Pants Off Racing, a local nonprofit benefiting pancreatic cancer families. People sent money to Coach Ryan Tong's Venmo, even Justin, who wrote, "In honor of my loving husband, Matt, who finally got me to do an Orange Theory class," matched by Orange Theory, Nike, and Adidas. He said the class was Tong's idea.
Ryan talked to everyone and sort of mentioned Matt and talked about why that charity was really meaningful, talked about me and how I'm, going it as a single dad now. So really it kind of tugged at everyone's heartstrings and people, I think, dug deep.
How do you feel about it now?
It's a kind of disgust, sad feeling. I also feel bad for our community and our family and friends who thought they were doing something really good to help, but kind of fell into this trap.
Pants Off Racing confirmed to me that they never received the donations from that class. Ramos says people donated about $2,500, and Tong had promised the money would be matched to boost it to $10,000. Ramos says it's sickening and his heart dropped when he found out this week, but he hopes this story can convince people to give directly to local philanthropies.
There are a lot of good charitable causes that can always benefit from a little bit of attention to the good things that they're doing. And so in some way that could be a way to move forward from this and find some positive out of a really ugly situation.
Evan's with me now. Please tell me this guy's been arrested.
Not to my knowledge as of this point. Portland police are investigating this case, and the company, the franchisee Honors Holdings, says that they will work with police in any investigation, but not as of now, as I can tell. Also on the company, one more note for you. They told me today that they've changed their policy as of this situation and that only direct donations are allowed for charitable classes, and Venmo's not a way forward.
Yeah, that seems like a really good idea.
Sure.
All right, thank you, Evan. Great stuff as always. Now let's get to our fentanyl crisis. The 90-day fentanyl emergency officially expired earlier this week. Today, Governor Tina Kotek, Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson, and Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler gathered for a press conference to talk about how it went and what's next. The final report on the emergency spans 121 pages, and there are all kinds of figures and graphs and charts and pretty much you name it, it's probably there. But let's focus on concrete actions taken and what to expect. The governor has ordered Oregon State Police to continue placing troopers downtown to partner with PPB for another 6 months, working fentanyl missions and the peer outreach program that pairs officers with outreach workers with the goal of getting someone into drug treatment immediately. The report also calls for the development of a designated intake facility to manage referrals for addiction treatment, as well as a shelter bed tracking system currently in the works at the Joint Office of Homeless Services. There will also be new data dashboards and new mobile clinics to help people struggling with fentanyl addiction on the streets. The chair also announced a fentanyl awareness public health campaign targeting people aged 13 to 20, things like billboards, bus benches, social media. The theme is Expect Fentanyl, meant to curb fentanyl use and warn of its deadly consequences. And finally, the governor said the state will partner with the private sector, starting with conversations with the nonprofit United Way of the Columbia to serve as a conduit between state and local groups. So there you have it. One of the other big takeaways for our local leaders seems like, maybe it could have been happening all along before these past 3 months. But guess what? In the time that they've been working together, they've learned, yes, we can work together.
One of the things in the Central City Task Force that we heard from, whether it was fair or not, was the perception that the city, the state, and the county weren't working well together. That's clearly through this emergency, you can see, and through this conversation this morning, that is not true. And we are all working collectively, collaboratively, together to take on issues such as the fentanyl crisis in the downtown central city.
This 90-day fentanyl emergency, from my perspective, enables the partnership, the funding, the coordination, the communication to all come together in a way that allows us to have success that we could not have achieved on our own in the absence of this 90-day emergency declaration.
All right, and some are going to say that collaboration should be a process, not a result, but there you go. So what's going through your mind? Are you happy with what the outcome is of this fentanyl emergency, or did it leave you wanting more? Email us, will you? Let us know what you think. The email is thestory@kgw.com, or call and leave a voicemail. The number is 503-226-5090. Now to the latest on federal policy over marijuana. This week, the DEA announced the agency is working to reclassify pot, which could have huge impacts on the legal pot industry here in the Northwest. However, it would not legalize the drug on the federal level. Even still, it would be the agency's biggest policy change in decades. Right now, the DEA considers cannabis a Schedule I drug. That's the highest level and on par with things like heroin. But they want to move it down to Schedule III, which would place it more in the same category as ketamine and steroids. Reclassifying marijuana would open up more opportunities for clinical studies, but for dispensaries here in the Northwest, it would also mean a big change when it comes to paying taxes and maybe banking. Right now, in terms of taxes, they cannot write off expenses such as payroll, marketing, or rent, but with this reclassification, they could see big tax cuts.
By allowing them to fully deduct their business expenses, this is going to have a profound effect on the economics. It'll make it easier for them to be profitable.
The banking situation is a little bit more of a gray area. Even if pot is rescheduled, it would still be illegal on the federal level. And some banking leaders have said that because of that, most banks probably would not risk handling marijuana money. But nonetheless, there's still a ways to go before marijuana gets reclassified. The proposal must first be reviewed by the White House Office of Management and Budget, and then it'll undergo public comment and a review from an administrative judge. Coming up next on The Story, we're taking a deep dive on the occupation of Portland State University's library, when it could reopen for students and others. Plus, we'll highlight some of the cooperation of our public agencies, including comments from leaders that we felt really stood out. That's coming up next when The Story returns. Cleanup crews power washed graffiti from Portland State's library today, and the school's president said it would be fall before the library would be able to reopen. Also today, many of those arrested had their first court appearances. When something like this happens, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than we can show you most nights. But tonight we will pull back the curtain at least a little bit. Since we have a new initiative here at KGW to look for solutions, we wanted to take some time to show you what went right. It comes in the form of cooperation among the public agencies, an acknowledgement of the sadness over what happened, and a willingness to speak out and condemn the destruction. Let's start with Mayor Ted Wheeler.
Finally, I just want to say this about that. I, for the life of me, do not understand how terrorizing local business operators can possibly impact events in the Middle East. If you believe that by damaging a business, which frankly harms the frontline employees who work in those businesses, and we've had reports that they were frightened, that they were traumatized, if you believe damaging those businesses or trashing a library on a university campus will impact events in the Middle East, then you are delusional.
It unfortunately is not an unusual development for Portland protests. It's common, actually, for peaceful protesters to begin a march or other action to draw attention to their concerns, only to have it taken over by others who are much more interested in destruction and fighting with police. Police Chief Bob Day has seen that over the years and talked about it today.
But in particular, that this isn't a victory lap. In fact, I see events like this with a great deal of sadness. And the reason is because the criminal behavior that we've outlined and we've seen demonstrated really co-opts the true message and the significance of maybe what is trying to be accomplished. We all have deeply held beliefs, whether that be about conditions around the world or right here in the city of Portland. And when we see the activity that we've seen over the last few days, or even going back to 2020, we lose the opportunity to bring about real change. And I know that Portlanders at their core want to be about real change, and this isn't the way to go about it.
Those comments came on Thursday. Day is relatively new to the job of police chief, but he rose up through the ranks at Portland Police and gained decades of experience before retiring. Now he's been lured out of retirement to lead the force, and in his unique position, he's not all that interested in following a predictable script. Here he is talking about the high level of cooperation over the last few days and how that is not standard and is new for Portland.
I think this is unique for us as a city, but really unique for us as a country. I'm not seeing this anywhere else where the university leaderships, the police, the mayor, and the district attorney are coming together and saying, yes, we want a different story, we want a different narrative. This represents in a small way what Portland is and what Portland can be. And I would encourage our other elected leaders, our other university presidents, state leaders, as well as federal leaders to step into this space and support this work.
Finally, the chief said he was mindful of criticism. Actually, I'm saying finally the chief was mindful of criticism his police force has taken over the years after dealing with protesters. Didn't want to put that into his mouth. He did want to make sure that we all knew that he was proud of their actions on Thursday.
Just overall, I want to commend and thank the men and women of the Portland Police Bureau, the state police, and those other agencies I mentioned. This is a tough job, and these events can be very taxing. People have worked a lot of hours under a tremendous amount of pressure and scrutiny, and to this extent and what we've seen so far, I've been very proud and very pleased with the work we're seeing. We've got more work to do today. We're going to have more work to do tomorrow. That's just the nature of what we do. But I couldn't be more proud to represent the Police Bureau and continue to promote this beautiful city that I know we all love and care about.
Portland State's President Ann Cudd was also at that news conference Thursday. We've not really had a chance to see her under duress like this, and it was impressive how composed she appeared under the pressure. In her quest for solutions, she talked about her negotiations with the students in the library before calling the police.
We asked for their presence and their assistance only after extensive negotiations using faculty members as intermediaries. We gave students in the library the opportunity to leave without the threat of expulsion or suspension and no transcript notation, no changes to their current status in student housing, and no changes to their scholarship status or financial aid, as well as no impact on their educational visa status. I even offered to engage with them directly in dialogue about their other demands. The students who remained in the building chose not to take that option. We also made it clear to all faculty, staff, and students that remaining in the library that was trespassing. They had plenty of opportunity to leave prior to the police arriving, and they chose not to stay.
I believe she meant to say they chose to stay. PSU's president also talked about the need to serve all of PSU students, not just the few who took over the library.
Our primary concern is for the physical and emotional well-being of our students. This was a traumatic event for everyone in our campus community, both those inside the library and then those watching from outside. Throughout this process, and even after the events of the day, I'm still open to meeting with our students to hear their concerns, but this protest is obviously bigger than Portland State University at this point. PSU is an access institution. We have more than 21,000 students. It is incumbent on us to serve all of our students. Of course, we support the free speech rights of our students who feel so passionate about the horrors of war and the killings of innocents in Gaza. But we must take care of all of our students and provide a safe learning environment. It is tragic that some of our students, along with others from outside, have so badly damaged our library and taken away that essential learning space. You know, as a philosophy professor and the daughter of librarians, that space is really a sacred space to me, and I am really so saddened to see what has happened to it.
And finally, Ann Cudd, the president there, was asked if the students who took over the library will face discipline. She said yes. So, what do you think about what city leaders and the PSU president had to say about that library occupation? Do you think something should have been handled differently? How and why? Let us know, will you? Send us an email. The address is thestory@kgw.com, or call and leave us a voicemail. The number is 503-226-5090. We'll be right back after this. Hey, if you ever miss an episode of The Story, you can always catch up on KGW Plus. It's our free streaming app on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Just search KGW and then add it to your home screen. If streaming that way is not exactly your cup of tea, and I know it's not for everybody, you can find The Story on YouTube, where we stream live every weeknight. And I know a lot of you do watch on YouTube, and we're glad to have you there.
To find that section, go to the KGW YouTube page, scroll down a bit until you see the bolded words, The Story, and click that. That will bring you to the story page, where videos are listed in chronological order, the most recent at the top, going back in time as you scroll down.
Hopefully that makes sense. I've found it that way. You know, when I'm searching for my own stories, you can find them too. Hey, that's the end of our show. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, the story, our collective story, that never ends. Timbers 360 is coming your way next. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you right back here on Monday night at 6:30.